car will pull off. They'll work their way into the Superior Trailer restart zone. And ladies and gentlemen, 2022 Racing at Ace is underway. Brian Hatch gets him started. Green flag in the air. And a quick jump there on the outside line for Jonathan Lawrence as they head into 1 and 2 for the first time. And Lawrence, great corner for him. He's going to be clear of a couple of car links. Jonathan Lawrence, your new leader, as there is contact behind him for second.
Bryson Myers right there just gave a good shot in the shorts to the 0-2 of Brian Hatch off of turn 2. Hatch must have been on the brakes while Bryson was on the gas, but lap 1 will be led by the Lawrence, number 66. Jonathan Lawrence out to the point. Brian Hatch will settle into second. Here comes Bryson Myers to the inside for the third spot of that white number 13. Hatch will try to close the door just behind him and hang on to third. He'll lead that black 13 looking to the inside down the front straightaway. That is the battle for the third position. Give it to Travis as Brian Hatch drops back to the fourth spot as they begin to get single file around the speedway.
And Brian Hatch, your pole sitter, falling back quickly, about 2 or 3 car lengths there behind that battle for third as he tries to rally it back. It is Bryson Myers in the white and orange, number 13, who holds it down in second, chasing down that number 66 of Jonathan Lawrence, who last time at the stripe held an advantage of 1.9 seconds, and looking to bid on that is Jonathan Lawrence, as he'll come around this time to complete lap number 3, and that battle for third, Tyler, starting to heat up once again with Luke Travis and Brian Hatch.
Yeah, Hatch got a little bit of a rocky start there as he looked like he just couldn't quite get going, but now about 4 laps into this one, we'll see if he can kind of rein it back in and get things going again. We're reminded this is the first race of the season for pretty much all of these guys. So first time the race program in cars. They're going to be trying to feel things out, but I tell you what, right now Jonathan Lawrence looks like he is in mid-season form, stretching out his lead, running about 2.6 seconds ahead of second place Brian Myers as Luke Travis gets a little bit loose down in turns 3 and 4, opens up the door, and Brian Hatch trying to close in on him here on lap 6.
There's that best battle on the racetrack there for that number 3 position as Brian Hatch trying to gather it up after falling back a little bit earlier. Gets a little loose off of turn number 2 and will lose about a car length and a half, but you can see on entry, Brian Hatch really driving it up to the number 13 of Travis to try and run him down. Jonathan Lawrence that last time now has a 2.942 second advantage over Bryson Myers there, the 13 that runs in the second position. Again, Jonathan Lawrence looking for his first win at Ace Speedway tonight is once again near contact there for position number 3 between Travis and Brian Hatch.
Lawrence really out, setting a pretty torrid pace right now, Blake. He is turning most of the laps. He has been turning the fastest lap time. That pass time by Bryson Myers actually went a little bit faster on the stopwatch, but Lawrence able to get things going right off the jump and build that lead up. 11 laps to go. These boys will be coming to halfway next time by as again Myers goes a little bit faster on the stopwatch, but Blake, he's got so much time on the speedway to make up, and only 10 laps to go as we're already halfway.
That is very true, Tyler. Not so long to get it done as they come around this time. You can see the lady in the black man halfway this time by for Jonathan Lawrence, and at that halfway mark, he stretches his advantage to 3 seconds over Bryson Myers there, the 13 that runs in second. But Brian Hatch has looked at that number 13 directly in front of him of Luke Travis a number of times and has tried to get in on corner entry, but can't exactly get the same power on exit to try and get it going. Again, that last time by, Lawrence has fought back against Myers and extended his lead once again.
Myers can see him out of the windshield, but just can't quite get to him. Well, he's completely on schedule as we are single file around the speedway. Mini stocks, you guys need to be getting ready. Your race is coming up next. Mini stocks, get them ready. You guys are coming up next with your feature event as we come to put lap number 13 on the scoreboard. And Jonathan Lawrence well on his way. He can keep on building. Well on his way to an opening night win as Bryson Myers trying to click off some better lap times, but he drifts back to 3 seconds back of the race leader. Luke Travis doing a good job to hang on to third as Brian Hatch has found his bearings. That car coming to life. Brian really closes up going into turn number 3. Really gets looking for that jump on line 13, but Travis able to hold him off for now.
And it's really all on entry that Brian Hatch is making up that advantage. As you see, he gets more confident to try and throw that race car into the corner, particularly in the turn 3. You can see a 3 or 4 car length advantage just wipe away and have it moving back up on the exit of turn number 4 as they come around this time. 15 complete for Jonathan Lawrence, who, like we mentioned, Tyler, looking for his first win already at the Ace Speedway in his life. So what would it mean for him if he can hold on for about 5 more laps over Bryson Myers, who is running some of his fastest times of the race, but still about a 10th off your race leader?
I'll tell you what, it would be one heck of a story. That Jonathan Lawrence kid, if you ever get to meet him, you would love him. All he wants to do, all he loves to do is go racing. Moved here from out of state here into North Carolina, dropped himself right in the middle of racing in NASCAR country, doing it in the 4-cylinder front-wheel drive right here at Ace Speedway. Looking at a 2.8-second lead as flagman Brandon Willard will show him two sticks in the air, 2 laps to go in this feature.
The California Kid, as he calls himself, out of Bakersfield, California. Another great driver that came out of Bakersfield, Kevin Harvick, who is, again, a wonderful driver there out of Bakersfield, North Carolina. And you'll see they'll come to the white this time. Jonathan Lawrence, one more trip around the famous 4/10 mile to get his first win at Ace Speedway. Lawrence into 1 and 2 for the final time. Looks to just stay steady as he works into turn number 3 and 4. Off the final set of corners, 20 laps on the board. Your Extreme Race winner, number 1, Jonathan Lawrence, wins for the first time at Ace Speedway. Winner for the first time at Ace Speedway. Woo! And a bit of a slam on the car as Jonathan Lawrence trying to soak it all in, and Jonathan, I think he's looking for his phone. Jonathan Lawrence.
I tweet this.
Yeah, there you go. An emotional win for you here. And I think the look on your face says it all.
It's been 4 years trying with this car, man. It's just been a lot of seconds, a lot of thirds. This car's been directed back to 10. I was all God and I don't know. I was playing so hard this week. I was like, just want to win, Lord. That was a dream race. I was shocked that it just ran every lap like it was qualified. I was qualifying. When you're here, Brian Hatch enough he helped us with this car 4 years ago. And all my sponsors, DC Service Heating, Fluid Monster Movers, Agent Farmers. Oh, goodness. Everybody that's coming along the way, man. Mom, Dad, family, everybody.
Nice from Jason Turner here at Ace Speedway with Jonathan. Congratulations to you. I can see this means a lot to you. And great job, well done. We're going to let you celebrate. Jonathan Lawrence, your race winner tonight at Extreme here at Ace. That's a pretty good start to the year. Get some solid points there.
Yeah, congratulations to Jonathan. And it's going to be great for him. Our health pretty good. We just got stuck behind a couple hours in the beginning, came on in the end, but congratulations.
All right. That is your second place finisher tonight in the number 13.
Just trying to get line, trying to save front.
All right, well, I hope to see you back out here for a couple of weeks here in Extreme, and we hope to see all you guys continue to come out here, as that is your top 3 finishers tonight.
As here come the mini stocks out of turn number 4, second attempt to get this one started. Green flag is in the air. The Tuckers lead them down the front straightaway and off into turn 1. And we are underway, and it looks like it's going to be Miles Tucker that will nose out to the early advantage over his dad, Michael. Back to the 3rd spot, the 35 of Johnny Baker. The 3 wide for a moment for the 4th spot. Chuck Wall on the 03 will pedal to 4th.
And what a move there from Chuck Wall, who makes it 3 wide off the jump, but he will get a couple of spots out of it, move him up into the 4th position. Does Chuck Wall go with that 3 wide move? Although up front, Miles Tucker still holding strong over Michael Tucker, about half of a car length back. Johnny Baker has also kind of separated himself with these front 3, and Chuck Wall looking to make up some ground. He was the fastest car on the racetrack that last time in that number 4 spot, and change for the lead. Miles Tucker high off of turn number 2. He'll fall back. Michael Tucker will go to the race lead here to complete lap number 3 and contact the outside wall as the 81 of Tucker looked to scrape it off of turn number 4.
Miles has to pull the reins back on that pony. He'll drop from the lead back to third spot as Johnny Baker got by him on the inside. And that black, orange, and white 35 moved Baker to second. Miles Tucker back to third and right into the oncoming hands of Chuck Wall, who shot out of a cannon off the initial start. He is waiting right there in the fourth position, not in the car he brought here. He brought his number 81 here. They had mechanical trouble. They elected to just start and park that car. Chuck driving the Mike Herron prepared number 03 right now. He rides in the fourth spot. We are 5 laps complete. Michael Tucker showing the way.
Tucker showing the way at 17.839, the only driver who has dipped into the 17-second bracket so far in the opening laps is Michael Tucker there in the 16. Chuck Wall kind of running into a wall with Johnny Baker in the 35 and Miles Tucker there in second and third. As they try to chase down your race leader in Michael Tucker. At 81, starting to make up some ground on Johnny Baker in the second position. As Miles Tucker will slide in the line, so will Chuck Wall. Again, that battle for second shaken up between those two drivers.
Miles Tucker trying to re-engage with Johnny Baker. Baker, he looks at his windshield. He sees Michael Tucker, the race leader, getting smaller and smaller, really pitching that car hard into the corners, trying to match the speed of the 16. He might get a little help here in just a moment as Michael Tucker will be in lap traffic here in the next 2 laps as the tail end of the field is on the same straightaway. That's Tyler Busch in the number 1B machine, or the 18 rather. That red car was a late entry arrival to the speedway. Michael Tucker closing up on him. That might be the only hope that Johnny Baker and the rest of the field have as Tucker, the eldest Tucker, setting the bases. Ooh, Busch sideways off of turn number 4.
Very sideways there as the track's starting to rubber in a little bit. Michael Tucker will go to the outside of that lap traffic, and it looks like he's able to get through relatively clean as he works through turns 3 and 4. So no trouble there for your race leader to get behind the lap traffic in Tyler Busch. However, for Johnny Baker and Miles Tucker, as they approach the number 18, probably a little bit more time loss as you'll see the 18 will go low. And again, concede that running position there up the racetrack though. Miles Tucker in the 81 may have lost a little bit of ground. They're trying to chase down Johnny Baker for second.
More lap traffic to deal with for race leader Michael Tucker. He'll go to the outside of the 2 of Carson Reed and put him a lap down as he caught Reed in a pretty good spot, caught him going into the corner. While Baker, on the other hand, as he tried to work around Busch, he caught him in the middle of the corner, right where you don't want to be. He gave up some ground there. Tucker's lead, 2.08 over second place, Johnny Baker. Miles Tucker continues to stay in third as we've stagnated a little bit around the 4/10 of a mile A speedway. But Michael Tucker applying a clinic with 14 of 30 laps complete. We'll be coming to halfway next time by as Tucker putting on display what has made him one of the best in the Southeast, whether he's at Ace, Dillon, Caraway, wherever he shows up. Michael Tucker, always a tough one to beat. And right now he is halfway home. 15 laps complete, 15 laps to go.
And right now the fastest car on the racetrack those last 2 laps has been the 81T of Miles Tucker. So I think Johnny Baker, that battle for second between the 35 and that 81 starting to shape up just a little bit here as we'll come across the stripe this time. Flag man gonna be showing up across flags here in just a little bit, halfway down, 16 on the board for your leader in Michael Tucker. But Johnny Baker starting to fall back into the clutches of Miles Tucker, who, like mentioned, had been down near the 17-second bracket. Michael Tucker, the only other driver that had been close to that. But Miles Tucker starting to reel in Johnny Baker little by little, every little lap.
Tough break there for the number 10 of Jordan Brown as he pulls off the speedway and down into the pit lane. His night done with 18 of 30 laps complete. Looking out on the field, Michael Tucker's next lap victim would be the 0 of second-generation driver Matt Wilborn, dead ahead of the race leader as we're coming to 19 laps complete. Flagman Brandon Willard showing him the 10 to go signal that time by as Michael Tucker continues to apply the clinic. Limited late models going to be coming up next on the speedway. Limited late models 40 lap feature coming up next as Michael Tucker will bring it out of turn number 4. And I got to tell you, Blake, it looked like he backed up quite a bit there to second place. Johnny Baker, his lead evaporated a lot right there.
It certainly did. An 18.828 for Michael Tucker that last time. He gave up nearly 0.6 of a second to that 35 of Johnny Baker, and all of a sudden it is really starting to shape up front. You can see about 4 or 5 car lengths between Michael Tucker and Johnny Baker, and oh, by the way, Miles Tucker has not gone anywhere either, so the top 3 started to be thrown under a blanket as your top 2 and 3, Johnny Baker and Miles Tucker, faster than your race leader that last lap.
Lap traffic going to play into the hands of the second and third place runners as Michael Tucker catches lap traffic in a bad spot in turn 2. Slows his pace down just a bit. He'll work around another lap car right in the middle of the corner. Not where he wanted to catch Tyler Busch, as Johnny Baker knows it is time to go with 23 of 30 laps complete. Just 7 laps to go. Baker has got to go, and he's got to go in a hurry. Meanwhile, off the pace on the front stretch, the 03 of Chuck Wall, the 4th place race car, in trouble going into turns 1 and 2. He is low on the back straightaway. It looks like he is going to call tonight with 6 laps to go, but the caution flag is going to be out, and it's for a spin in turn 4. We had our eyes on the leaders. We look back, the 6th place race car, the 0 of Matt Wilborn. The lessexpensivecars.com pace car will make the hard left turn into the pit lane. The field trying to catch back up to the Tucker family as green flag back in the air. We are back underway with just 7 laps to go in this first mini stock feature of 2022. The Tuckers are side by side in turn number 1. Off for 2, give it to Michael Tucker on the bottom. Miles Tucker up on the high side. Johnny Baker pushing up from the 3rd spot. Here comes the 81 along with the 00 Mark Wilborn. Everybody chasing the flag with 6 laps to go. It is Michael Tucker back to the lead.
Michael Tucker back to the lead, but for second, Miles Tucker had done a nice job hanging on to the outside line. But as they work into turns 3 and 4, it'll give the advantage to Johnny Baker by just a nose. He'll clear that driver for second. And we also have a number of cars, Mark Wilborn there in the 00 and Carson Reed, who have worked up to the back of that 81. And now Miles Tucker under assault for that 3rd spot.
Tucker coming under attack. Here comes Wilborn looking to the inside off of 4, trying to get the nose there side by side to the line. Tucker still had it by a frog's hair, but Wilborn not going anywhere. He'll stay to the inside. Tucker pushes up in turns 1 and 2. That opens up the door. Mark Wilborn up to the 3rd spot. Miles Tucker booted back to 4th. He'll try to play defense for that spot. 27 laps complete. Just 3 laps to go in this mini stock feature.
3 laps to go as Michael Tucker now holds an advantage that is nearly about a second over Johnny Baker there, who runs in second. But how about Mark Wilborn, who has rebounded and moved up into the 3rd spot? Not going to take it so easy though. A little bit of a slip up off of turn number 4. And with just a couple of laps to go, Miles Tucker may have something to say right behind that 00 machine of trying to move forward. Matt Wilborn also as well. Again, issues there with that spin. And the white flag is out. One more trip around the Ace Speedway for Michael Tucker to try and start out 2022 in the mini stock division with a victory into 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in hand. Michael Tucker gets it done.
This car really had some power in it.
Yeah, we got awesome motor man, Randy Freeze out shout him. He builds one awesome motor man. It makes it a little easier on us, but we got this thing dialed in pretty good. We struggled a little bit in practice earlier, but got it dialed in.
All right, you seem to find it, and again, another father-son combo out here, able to get the job done out of that battle.
Yeah, I was hoping Miles would get up there and race with me a little bit. Probably where it's going. Honestly, one of them meetings, I did it already.
We'll see it more of it. Michael Tucker, your winner tonight. Able to hang on there on that restart. There was quite a bit of battling going on behind you. And I wanted to go to the outside so bad, but my spotter was hollering inside. So I knew we couldn't do nothing with Michael on the outside. We can't do nothing with him on the inside. That dude's he's fast over here, man. But we've been struggling on the car all day. We worked on a little bit, got a little better. Glad to have second place. Well, it seemed like as that race went on, your car got a little bit better as well. Yeah, it seemed to get better and better, but just not enough laps for it to really come in and somebody else to fall off. So.
Well, it's still a solid start there for Johnny Baker, who brings it home in second. Mark Wellborn, a solid run there, and you're able to gain a couple spots there at the end of the race.
Yeah, I sort of had to get a car off by accident. Finally figured that out. Got to go and get that caution and gates back up. But I'd like to thank, with construction out in this last Danny Davis for making this all happen. It's pretty clean detailing. And all the guys that helped us build and follow along with Sun Matt.
All right, well, I know that. Meeting you earlier, you had a good amount of help around you to certainly make it happen. Well, we'll see more of you this year here at 8 Speedway. Mark, welcome. Bring up the restart zone. Dylan Harville in the number 33 will get him started. The leader will get to the line first. Green flag in the air. A great start there on the outside for the number 44 of Justin Whitaker as they work off in turn number 2. Hartville clear to the lead. It goes Dylan Harville. He's able to get through that, but they are side by side behind them as they come around and complete the line. Colby Fogelman there in the car number 32, able to slot down and get in line for position number 4, but not so quick. Here comes Isaac Chandler all over the back bumper as Chandler looks to have an issue. Big slide out of the 56 as he clipped that apron, but Tyler, he saved that car.
He was fighting wasps off in that cockpit, had a handful of steering wheel. Chandler hangs on though and keeps it straight. As we are 3 laps in, Harville, Whitaker, and York the top 3. Colby Fogelman 4th, top 5 rounded out by Isaac Chandler. Chase Murphy right there in a close 6th spot, chasing down the top 5. Hunter Rose back in 7th, J.R. Good 8th. Tyler Payne back in 9th, top 10 rounded out by Tony Ross. To get a little bit single file, Blake, one thing you notice here early in the going, you can tell these guys have got the tire pressure set a bit low. You see these cars bottoming out pretty bad off of turn 4.
Well, especially if you're a race fan here near the exit of turn number 4, you can really see it right there. As Colby Fogelman goes by, you see sparks flying, shattering as they are clipping that apron that is on the bottom side here at the Ace Speedway in 3 and 4. And like you said, that is those tire pressures as they start to go along, as they start to heat up and build up some pressure, and that will eventually go away. It makes for a nice little show for the race fans out in turn number 4 to see those sparks flying. Meanwhile, up front, not much of a change up front. Dylan Harville still your leader, but Justin Whitaker matching step for step what that race leader is doing. His caution flag is out on the speedway. We got one spun around here in turn number 2 as the field will approach that car and go slowly around. It looks like that is
Tony Ross.
Number 23 of Tony Ross. We had an issue in the middle of 1 and 2. And Tyler, first caution flag here in the limited late models.
So yellow flag there out. Tony Ross was back there in the 10th position off the jump car. Clearly not to his liking. He gets the car pointed back in the right direction. But as Blake said, we are under caution on lap 6 of 40 for the limited late models. And again, a reminder, race fans, hot pizza from Sal's Italian Restaurant is available at the Ace Speedway concession stands. $3 a slice or $15 for a whole pizza. Pepperoni and cheese both available at the Ace Speedway concession stand. Get yourself some Sal's Italian pizza. Under the caution flag though, like Blake said, for a single car spin in turn number 2, right under the Pepsi sign, just over there in turn 2. Goes to show you, Blake, even with those hot laps we gave the drivers to try to work those nerves out and get the heat in the tires early in the run. These cars are pretty unstable, but we'll probably see them come to them as the run goes on.
We also have to think with the temperatures out here, having to get those tires warmed up, the cooler temperatures out there on the racetrack, they'll eventually get that cycled in and have a lot of grip in those race cars. But first off, you gotta warm them up as they'll approach the Larry Walker and Sons restart cone. And your race leader in Dylan Harville will like to go to the bottom side of the racetrack. Justin Whitaker, his car looked awfully strong there, running in the 2nd position, and strong enough that he'll take the outside on this restart. As the lessexpensivecars.com pace car gonna pull to the safety of pit road. Once again, Dylan Harville control of the field as they'll approach lap number 7 this time. Harville, a great launch off, and not so good for the 44 of Justin Whitaker. Looks like he had a bit of a trouble getting on the gas there, misfired, what have you. But Whitaker going to lose an awful lot of spots, goes from second, and he may have lost fifth by the time he gets off of turn number 4, side by side with Isaac Chandler door to door, and Chandler by just a nose at the stripe will take control of that 5th position.
Absolutely rotten luck there for Whitaker. Just could not get the car going down the front straightaway, and Dylan Harville just ate him for lunch on the restart. His misfortune is good news for Jamie York, the Reidsville, North Carolina native and the former track champion. Will move the number 1 car into the 2nd spot as Whitaker's got more problems out of turn 2. Slow down the back straightaway. Whitaker tries to gather it back in, but something amiss on that black and red 44. And what a tough break for the Gibsonville product. He qualified 2nd fastest, was having a good run 6 laps in. We'll see if he can get that thing gathered back in and re-engage with the field as he tries to go to work on Tyler Payne. All the way down to the flat, he'll send Payne up the hill. Whitaker says, I gotta get back up there. 10 of 50 complete. Harville still the leader, but now the top 3, Jamie York and Colby Fogelman.
A bit of a late call there as they continue to battle further on back in the field with Dylan Harville, Jamie York, and Colby Fogelman. Like Tyler said, your top 3. Tyler Payne going to lose a spot there for 8th. He falls back to 9th as J.R. Good and the 4G machine will go on by and take control of that 8th position. But Dylan Harville, Jamie York, Colby Fogelman, your top 3. Your top 3 all within about a 10th of a second of one another. Very close times here at the front of the field. Best battle on the racetrack is in turn 2 right now as some blows being exchanged between the 23 of Tony Ross and Tyler Payne. That is the battle for position number 9, but it's a good race between those 2.
These guys going hard for the 9th spot here on lap 13. Meanwhile, just outside the top 5, or excuse me, right outside the top 4, battle for 5th on the racetrack out of turn 4. Hunter Rose to the inside of Isaac Chandler. He takes the 5th spot on lap 14. Rose worked it to the inside and pushed Chandler out. Chandler will have to settle back in 6th, right in front of 7th place running Justin Whitaker, who is on the comeback tour, trying to get his way back to the front after a restart terrible on lap 6 cost him about 9 positions. Meanwhile, back up front, the top 4 trying to separate themselves. It's Harville, York, and Fogelman, with Murphy following in a close 4th. Hunter Rose has 5th, but behind him, it's getting busy. Here comes Whitaker inside of Chandler.
Again, Whitaker, your 2nd starter tonight, looking to try and claw his way back through the field, but a big wiggle out of turn number 2. He's going to lose all that ground that he had spent several laps trying to make up on Isaac Chandler there in the 6th position. So Whitaker, by about 2 car lengths, will fall back into 7th. Like Tyler was mentioning, your top 3, now kind of call it top 2, who are really starting to separate themselves at the front of the field. Dylan Harville has led all 18 laps here in the late model feature for 40 laps. They'll get close to halfway next time. 1 car pulling into the pit lane, that is the 4 of J.R. Good. Appears to be off the pace, something amiss on that number 4 car, stay green. But unfortunate there for J.R. Good, who looks to be behind the wall. He'll fall back to 10th position, and we'll see if he can get back out onto the racetrack. But up front, Dylan Harville still trying to pull away as we approach halfway.
Halfway that time by, 20 laps complete, 20 laps still to go. Harville has been the cream of the crop so far in this one, and as the green flag run has gone from lap 6 forward, he has continued to build the lead up over Jamie York as his car coming to him over the course of this green flag run. Good run for Colby Fogelman, right now sitting in the 3rd spot, unchallenged at the moment. Chase Murphy holding down the 4th spot as you got to look back a little bit to find 5th place Hunter Rose. Good run for Hunter working in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, 6th spot might be up for grabs again. Whitaker has re-engaged with Chandler, and oh my goodness, Chandler had her high, wide, and handsome out of 4, nearly kissed the wall. Whitaker all the way to the bottom, side by side for 6th.
Again, sparks flying from the bottom of that 44 machine. That last trip through 3 and 4, and it looks like Whitaker off of turn number 4 going to be able to complete the pass this time. So Justin Whitaker trying to claw his way back into this one, but that battle looks to be just about done as Whitaker, a great drive off of turn number 2. Justin Whitaker will pull away and continue to try and chase down what will be Hunter Rose next in that number 8 car to try and chase him down. However, for your race leader, off of turn number 4 is Dylan Harville. straightaway, but call it a full straightaway right now behind Tyler Payne, who currently runs in the 8th position, but a little bit of lap traffic there for your race leader is about all he needs. As you see, almost contact there for second between Jamie York and Tony Ross.
Yeah, York had to jump on the binders there as Ross was trying to figure out himself where that race car was going to go. He went left, he went right, and York had to really bind that car up. It cost him some time as Harville continuing to skate away with the race lead. Meanwhile, Jamie York got a little bit held up by the lap car. Fogelman still holding on to the 3rd spot. Harville will have a little bit of clean sailing for at least the next few laps before he catches the 8th place race car. The 5 of Tyler Payne is next up on his victim list, but coming around to complete lap 29 of 40, closing in on 10 to go. Dylan Harville showing the way, looking for an opening night win in the limited late model division.
Harville in pole center came out here with an awfully fast car and proven that not to be a fluke here in this feature. As he'll come around this time, he'll take 10 laps to go here at Ace Speedway. Dylan Harville looking to add for an opening night win here in 2022. Second to Jamie York, running back by about 1.7 seconds. Colby Fogelman has had control of that 3rd spot for a number of laps, but Chase Murphy there, the number 13, starting to make up some ground on your runner in 3rd. Last time by Chase Murphy, just a couple of hundredths faster than Colby Fogelman, but that 13 looking awfully sporty, and we may have a battle on our hands here in a couple of laps. That 3rd spot is Chase Murphy trying to chase down your top 3.
Daylight running out though for Murphy as we're getting this time to make hay here. Inside 10 laps to go. Jamie York, can he give it one more run to try to run down the race leader Dylan Harville as Harville works the car back to turn 1, enjoying a 1.2 second lead is race leader Dylan Harville. Meanwhile, looking a little further back, 5th place might be the next battle on the racetrack. Hunter Rose has the spot, but Justin Whitaker coming full head of steam in the black and red number 44 with time running out. Just 6 laps to go. Whitaker trying to close in on Hunter Rose for that 5th spot.
And he's been doing an awfully good job making up time lap after lap. Is Justin Whitaker on Hunter Rose? May have a battle for that position if Rose continues to fall on back. That would be for 5th. Out front, your race leader Dylan Harville pulled away that last time from Jamie York, and as well Fogelman away from Chase Murphy that last time. So Whitaker started working to 3 and 4, about a car length back at that number 8 of Hunter Rose. As he starts to make up ground, that is going to be a good battle going on forward here, as it is under 5 laps to go. Here for 40 laps, lap 37 on the board for Dylan Harville. Just a couple more corners to make it happen.
3 laps left here for the limiteds as Harville will work to the inside of Tyler Payne down the back straightaway. He will put the 8th place car down a lap as Brandon Willard will show him 2 to go with the flag stand that time by. Lap car between the race leader and 2nd place, Jamie York. Colby Fogelman solidly in the 3rd spot. No challenge out back for him unless he makes a mistake as they'll work through 3 and 4. The white rag is waving this time by. One more time around Ace Speedway for the limiteds.
York made up some ground that last lap, but I imagine it will not be enough without a mistake out of your race leader in Dylan Harville into 3 and 4 for the final time. Pole sitter led every lap, does it in dominating fashion. Dylan Harville, your winner here at Ace Speedway in the limited late model division. Gets it done in 40 laps.
Dylan Harville points to the skies in the 33 is your winner tonight in the limited late model division. Another point for your race winner in Dylan Harville will allow him just a moment to get the helmet, a Hans device, soft, and everything. And Dylan, looks like it came pretty easy to you out there.
Yeah, man, I mean, we picked that wheel up last year, man. I could never give any consultants enough credit for this. It makes my job easy. Anybody can get this thing and do what I just did right there. It's all him. And I got to thank Dylan Tree Service, Mike Love Mechanics, Lab Precision, my wife, my little one. This is awesome, man. Looking forward to the next hour.
All right, well, we won't take too much of your time. We'll let you celebrate with the family. Dylan Harville out there.
Yeah, we were just a little off. It
pretty good car. First race of the season. I just like to think everybody just helped put together the car. Rapco, J&T Woodworks, Smart Tool Company, and Racewell. Just everybody just helped put the car together.
Well, certainly so, Jamie. A great run and against some great points to start out. It could be pretty strong there for Mr. Folgeman there towards the later part of that run.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't have nothing for Jamie and Dylan, but yeah, it was good. I just got to thank everybody that helps me out. My daddy, Scotty King, Daryl Poe, Greg Marlowe, all the sponsors, Universal Forest Products, Burton Logistics, Curtis Flower Farms.
Getting it all in today for that third place finish.
And Lane Riggs looking to get a jump. So is Trevor Ward. Here going to heat to the line. And 75 laps here at Ace Speedway is green. As Lane Riggs will get gone out of turn number 2. He'll clear by about a car length. But boy, the 277s laid it on each other on their doors. Lane Stallings going to have second at the end of lap number 1.
Lap 1 belongs to Lane Riggs, but behind him a little bit of a headache for the second spot. Trevor Ward going to back out of it. He'll slip back to third as Stallings takes second. All this happening right in front of fourth place Ryan Millington and fifth place running Ryan Wilson. They're probably sitting there hoping like, please guys, do not wreck in front of us. They settle out the top 5, but I tell you what, nose to tail all the way down the back straightaway, just outside the top 5. Sixth place running Heath Halsey in the 59, Jason York in 7th, William Sawalich 8th, Jason Stanley running in the 9th spot, top 10 rounded out by David Latour Jr. As Dustin Rumley will bring it down the pit road. He will start and park to get the points. Meanwhile, up front, Riggs, Stallings, and Ward settle into the top 3 spots just 4 laps in.
And a really good battle starting to shape up there for that third position. Trevor Ward, who was lost a little bit of touch there with Blake Stallings by a couple of car lengths. He's right in the clutches of Ryan Millington as they work into turn number 1. Millington all over the back bumper of that number 77. He may take a peek to the nose to the inside of Trevor Ward, and he will do so side by side into 3 and 4 on the bottom side. Millington now off the corner. Going to get a great jump, and Ryan Millington will move forward into third. A great battle shaping up right there, Tyler. And also you see your top 2. Also, you can throw them under a blanket as well.
Good thing you got 2 eyes in your head, looking ahead to the battle for the lead and the battle for fifth as Ryan Wilson just took 4th place away from Trevor Ward. Ward trying to hang on for dear life on the outside, but he's going to get freight trained. Here comes Jason York to the inside. He wants to take the 5th spot away. He will do so off of 4. Trevor Ward desperately trying to find somewhere to merge in traffic as he's falling now back to 6th spot. Causey trying to put him back to 7th. Ward will fight back outside as he continues to try to find a way to get down. You do not want to be on the outside early in the run. These cars a bit of a handful to start the race. With 9 of 75 complete, we look up front, the top 2 breaking away. That's Blake Stallings in the 77, chasing after Lane Riggs. But meanwhile, it tightens up for 4th spot. Here comes Jason York working on Ryan Wilson.
As that battle for third shakes up, the number 18 going to the inside, and losing another spot is Ryan Wilson, who is going to lose that spot to the number 5. Fifth running driver, he's now 4th, number 18 of Jason York will slot himself into the 4th position. Ryan Wilson in 5th. There has finally been refuge for Trevor Ward, but not before he's fallen back to the 8th position. Finally able to get down to the inside line. He was in a battle with Heath Crosby at number 59 for several laps. Like Tyler said, top 2, a near dead heat in terms of fastest lap. Separated by 1/1000th of a second. Lane Riggs at 15.678. Blake Stallings at 15.679. So near identical pace out of your top 2 runners, and they have set themselves away from the rest of the field. Millington in 3rd, York in 4th, and Ryan Wilson, number 2 car, falls back to 5th, but he completes your top 5.
Meanwhile, further back, trouble for Trevor Ward. Trevor Ward in trouble. trouble off of turn number 4. The car goes high in the middle of the corner. Everybody gets by on the inside, but Ward looks like he's got a tire down. The car is dragging in turn 1 and 2, sending sparks up. He pulls to the bottom of turn 2 and has almost stopped on the back straightaway. Race control forced to throw the caution as Trevor Ward in trouble as the car was coming through turns 3 and 4. He noticed him kind of lose speed. He keeps it off the wall, but Blake McCandless, it looks like maybe part of what was holding Trevor Ward back might have been a tire down.
The restart zone right across the white stripe. Well, what a restart on the outside by Ryan Millington as they work into 1 and 2, side by side, door to door. Your top 4 stacked up off of 2.
Trevor Ward just getting out in front of the field, trying to keep himself on the lead lap, but right behind a Hornet's Nest led by Bahama, North Carolina's Lane Riggs. Side by side for second, just behind him, here comes Ryan Millington, him and Blake Stallings. They've been known to have some spirited battles here at Ace Speedway as Stallings pushes up a little bit off the corner, said, "Excuse me, neighbor," throws the elbow out, and Millington is going to lose a spot. Here comes Jason York to the inside. He will take the 3rd spot away from Millington. And now York will go to work on Stallings for 2nd. He's going to try to bring Millington with him as York gets loose. Stallings loose as well, fighting for 2nd on lap 17.
Jason York, a big send into turn number 3. We'll see if he can hold it down there on the outside. Stallings fighting for his life there for the 4th position to try to get back down. Who's trying to hang on to 3rd. 77 is sliding off the corner, and they still cannot get separated for that 3rd position. As Stallings up the racetrack, and what a save into the marbles. Stallings, a little bit of contact there. Stallings keeps it going, and now Millington getting moved there for 2nd, and he'll hang on, getting past Jason York.
Yeah, York got caught up in that fracas when Stallings went high. It loosened him up too a little bit. That opened up the door of possibility for Ryan Millington, and Millington has filled the hole, and he has taken 2nd. But in the middle of all that craziness, they allowed Lane Riggs to get 1.8 seconds out in front of this field. So 2nd place on back, it's awful crowded, but out front, Lane Riggs will put the Trevor Ward machine a lap down as Trevor took a while for the crew to get that tire changed. He got back on the track, but could not keep pace. He is going to park that 77 for the night with 20 of 75 laps complete. Meanwhile, out front, Lane Riggs looking clean and green, but in his rear view mirror, Ryan Millington tries to fill the gap. Jason York is 3rd. Ryan Wilson 4th. William Sawalich, the Minnesota native, is up to 5th.
And I tell you what, Blake Stallings is looking for an opportunity to get past Sawalich as they work into 3 and 4. Blake Stallings all over the back bumper of that number 43 as they run nose to tail, all behind your 4th place runner in that number 2 machine of Ryan Wilson. Wilson off of turn number 2, trying to hold off that 43. You see the 2 cars in front of them have made up a little bit of ground and is still Lane Riggs well out front of the field. And Ryan Wilson, a long line of cars behind him. He's got a Hornet's Nest and he's trying to hold him off.
Front runners as they are, Riggs, Millington, and York. But that battle on the track is for 4th. Ryan Wilson, he has got a handful of William Sawalich breathing down his neck. We are 1/3 of the way through this one, 25 of 75 complete. And if Sawalich don't go, Blake Stallings says, "I want to go for you." He wants to get those spots back that he gave up in the middle of that exchange between him and Jason York. Sawalich driving that race car led by crew chief Brandon Setzer as they work through turns 1 and 2. Sawalich will poke the nose to the inside of Wilson, trying to pull up the side of turn 3 and put the bumper to him. That's the battle for the 4th spot coming down the front straightaway. Sawalich to the inside of Wilson.
Sawalich looking for that 4th spot, and it looks like off of turn number 2 he's going to have it. Wilson in a free fall will lose 4th, he'll lose 5th, and is able to just get back down in line there for 6th, but not so quick. Big slide out of Heath Causing as he was trying to get under Ryan Wilson, unable to do it just there as Wilson falls back to 6th, and it's Blake Stallings now who has moved up into 5th position, but yet he still has Sawalich all in front of him. He has been chasing down that 43 car for about the last 10 or 15 laps, and Stallings looking for a door that's open, looking for an opportunity to try and get around Stallings.
Stallings coming heavy. That race car has got an attitude to it as he closes in here on lap 30. He's closing in on William Sawalich for the 4th position down the back straightaway. Stallings right to the back bumper through the apex of turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, can't quite get there, but he is playing peekaboo all around the rear view mirror of Sawalich. Meanwhile, a little further back from those runners, the 5th spot still being held down by Ryan Wilson, who gave up 2 spots in the exchange. He hangs on to 5th. It gets a little racy behind him for 6th spot as Heath Causey trying to hold back Jason Stanley back there in that Justin Johnson Racing automobile that Jason is normally a crew chief for that race team. He said, I wanted to come down here and shake this piece down before the car store comes here, and I think Jason Stanley said, you know what, I got the helmet and the fire suit on, I might as well go out here and race. He's racing for 6th.
And he's going to do so. He's got a tight battle on his hands there with the number 89 of David Latour Jr. all over the back bumper of that number 44, all behind Heath Causey and Ryan Wilson, who are hanging on for that 6th position. Still hotly contested there for that 2nd position, but don't look too closely here, Tyler. Your race leader starting to fall back into the clutches of Ryan Millington. A gap that was well over about a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds, is just down to 7/10 of a second. Ryan Millington, that last time by, working about 6/10 better than your race leader. They'll cross the stripe this time. Riggs will throw a 15.967 out there, so Riggs picking back up the pace, but Millington not exactly letting it, trying to make it easy on Lane Riggs.
Millington's been here plenty of times. He knows I can't let him get too far away from me right now as we have 37 laps complete here at A Speedway, 37 complete in the 75 scheduled. So Millington knows I don't need to be on his bumper quite yet, but I do need to stay close enough to strike as Brandon Willard shows him the cross flags. We're halfway home in the first late model feature of the 2022 campaign, and so far Lane Riggs has led every lap so far, 38 laps complete. The Bahama, North Carolina native has shown the way. Behind him, though, it has been quite the battle royale, but right now your top 5 as they run: Lane Riggs, Ryan Millington, Jason York, William Sawalich, and Blake Stallings rounds out the top 5.
Rounds out your top 5 in a field that has provided fantastic racing, and yet they are still nose to tail back here around Heath Causey for about that 7th position. Ryan Wilson has had a long line of cars lined up behind him all race long. We'll see if he can hang on and gets a little bit of an advantage, but that battle for that 8th position started to get contested between Jason Stanley, like you mentioned, trying to get some laps, trying to get some notes for the time the car store comes here in just over a month's time. But David Latour Jr. right on his tail, looking around for that 8th position as they work into 3 and 4. Latour starting to look a little bit better than that 89.
And typically Jason Stanley, the man on the wrenches when it comes to Connor Jones and Justin Johnson when they run with the car store. Probably getting some pretty good notes here on this piece, but he's about to get a door full of race car. David Latour Jr., who has not made a whole lot of noise so far tonight, back there running in 9th spot. He's starting to push up a little bit on 8th place, running Jason Stanley. Meanwhile, top 10 ran down by the 71 of Dean Fogelman. He remains on the lead lap for the moment, but Lane Riggs closing in with 44 of 75 complete. We are coming to 45 complete, this time by 30 laps to go. Difference back to Ryan Millington, about a quarter of a straightaway, if even that. Millington staying close enough. Meanwhile, 3rd place might change hands here, Blake McCandless. Jason York's brake rotors are glowing.
And I can see that very visually up here from the booth. I'm sure the race fans can see it out there as well. Those bright brake rotors on that number 18 of Jason York as William Sawalich has started to make up a little bit of ground. And you get a wonderful shot right there, bright red on the left front tire on that number 18 Chevrolet as William Sawalich will try to use that to his advantage. We'll see how long that 18 can hang on right there as you get a wonderful shot into 3 and 4. The fans do here on the front straightaway. Get 1 and 2. The man from the backstretch get a good look at that 18 car. But Sawalich has made up that ground all over the back bumper, half a car length now, and looking for the drive off of turn number 2. A little bit better than Jason York, but not quite soon enough third, fourth, and charge. Still about a half a car length battle for third position.
The young man from the land of 1,000 lakes, the Minnesota native William Sawalich, going to work on the local product, the Reedsville Rocket, Jason York, as he closes in. York, the former Martinsville Speedway late model winner as well, trying to hang on to that final spot on the podium, but Sawalich going to work on it. We are 50 of 75 laps complete, 2/3 of the way through, and right now Lane Riggs looks like he's got this thing on cruise control, 9/10 of a second out in front of Ryan Millington, and he really hasn't had to deal with a whole lot, Blake. Aside from the restarts, he hasn't gotten into lap traffic yet. You know, there is some tail end of the lead lap traffic just ahead of him on lap 52, but it's been a pretty uneventful race so far for Lane Riggs.
It's been so far so good, so clean there for the driver of the 99, who, like you said, Millington looked to rope him in for a couple of laps, but wasn't quite able to get the job done. And they have set here at roughly about a second away from each other. Lane Riggs that last time, just a hair slower than Ryan Millington, as he'll make up about 2/100ths of a second on your race leader. So Riggs having to start to think about Millington, who may start to go for a charge. You have lap traffic, and a wonderful battle still taking place for that third spot. Jason York and William Sawalich, a little bit of contact, perhaps exchange in turns 3 and 4, and Blake Stallings looking awfully sporty in that 77. Oh boy, contact here off of turn number 4, 18 and 43 going at it.
With just 20 laps to go, Sawalich has got to know that he has got to get a move on, because if he doesn't, Blake Stallings is going to get a move on for him. He's closing in third, fourth, and fifth, all over each other off of turn 4. Jason York, he's trying to hold serve in third spot. Car might be going away from him just a bit, but it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him, and right now Sawalich having a tough time trying to find a lane. Jason York is not just going to roll over and give it to him. He's going to have to pass him, but I tell you what, Blake, he better get going, because Blake Stallings is right under the fuel cell of Sawalich there in turn 2.
And roughly the same for Sawalich to Jason York, particularly during 3 and 4. That 43 awfully strong through this set of corners to our left here in the announcer's booth, as they are still all nose to tail. Sawalich trying to exercise as much patience as possible, but you can't be too patient with Blake Stallings running all over you like that. We'll see in 3 and 4, perhaps a little bit of contact exchange, and Sawalich has a nose on him into turn number 1, and here comes Sawalich there for that third spot. Jason York trying to hang on to fourth, and he's going to get down in front of Blake Stallings, who shoves his nose in there. Contact made, and almost a spin there. Contact with the left rear tire, as Jason York will fall back to fifth, and it came to a little bit of blows there.
Jason York won't have to wonder where that white paint on his race car came from on the left rear quarter panel. It came from the Danville, Virginia product, Blake Stallings, who was right there on him. But Sawalich finally gets himself into the third spot. He went all the way down to the concrete that is on the flat in turns 1 and 2 to make the pass on Jason York, but he puts himself in third spot. But with 62 laps complete of the 75 schedule, just 13 laps to go, it's a 2-horse race at the front of the field. Millington back 9/10 of a second of Lane Riggs, but it is time to put it into high gear, Blake. Time is running out.
That is the case, and with that, Millington knowing that the time is running out, he did go quicker than Lane Riggs that last time, but he's going to have to pick up the pace just a little bit as they'll cross the stripe this time. 11 laps to go for Lane Riggs to try and hold on over Ryan Millington. Some ground loss for that 15 that last time by, as Riggs holding strong up front. Ryan Wilson had his trunk full of the number 59 of Heath Causey off of turn number 4. So a great battle shaping up once again here at Ace Speedway. Battle for 6th. It's Wilson trying to hold on there over Heath Causey.
Wilson hanging on for dear life, and so is Heath Causey. That car sideways off of turn number 4 as he is giving it all she's got. The tire's giving up here down the stretch. Causey looking for any kind of avenue to get closer, but so is David Latour Jr. The 89 closes in from the 8th spot, getting a little racy here with time running out in the hourglass, coming to 67 laps complete. Just 8 laps to go here on opening night at Ace Speedway. Lane Riggs showing the way. The next car in front of him would be the 44 of Stanley. but I don't know that he'll catch him. If Millington's gonna do something, he's gonna have to run him down the old-fashioned way and put the whip to it. As there's 68 complete, just 7 laps left. Bahama, North Carolina's Lane Riggs showing the way over Millington, Sawalich, Stallings, and 5th place running Jason York.
Those top 5 separate from that battle that you see taking place for 6 and for 7. Ryan Wilson, Heath Ghazi, and David Latour, who were all running nose to tail here, will likely not be a factor here for Lane Riggs, who likely will not catch that lap traffic in front of them as there are 5 laps to go. Not a whole lot of time for Riggs to run them down, and Riggs starting to once again stretch that advantage to Ryan Millington. Millington had reeled him in the last couple of laps, and now Riggs starting to flex his muscles that we've seen here all afternoon, and Lane Riggs starting to pull away here with 4 to go.
Riggs just got to navigate a few more laps here. Millington is pushing, but he cannot quite get there. Last time by the stripe, he's 1.3 seconds back as Riggs flicking off times in the 16.2s. So is Millington, but he's got the track position with 3 laps to go. Lap traffic will not be a factor unless somebody breaks. 2 laps to go, says Brandon Willard, less than a mile away from victory. Could be Lane Riggs looking to pick things up here at a Speedway. He's trying to pull the double this weekend. He said, I intend to go to South Boston Speedway tomorrow. Can he start the weekend off with a win? 1 lap to go, calling home.
Lane Riggs into turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Can he make it a weekend where he finds success not only here at the famous 410 mile, but later on in South Boston? You can find that out tomorrow, but tonight it is all about Lane Riggs here at the Ace Speedway, your additional late model stock car winner in 2022. The 99 Lane Riggs, Ryan Millington bringing it home in a close 2nd place.
Yes, sir. Great car tonight. Thanks to everybody that helped us out so much. The team, we really needed this one. Thank you for your tank lines, University Ford. I've got to thank Turner Asphalt, Rickman's Motorsports, Hard Paper Roll Service, Great Heating and Air, Darren Contractors, Great Tech Flight Company. A lot of people that helped us out. They know the finish line. It feels good to race car, but I know it's cold to stand. Well, I'm sure, and obviously you're trying to make it help this week. You go to South Boston tomorrow. Does this kind of build some confidence going into South Boston tomorrow night? That's right, for sure. I think we definitely learned things here we can transfer over. I know that it wasn't an easy race tonight. Bill kept me honest the whole time, so there's no ride around the car. We had to race hard for lap, so I'd like to thank you to him. Thank you. It was a good race. We'll be back here soon. Absolutely, Lane Riggs tonight. Your late model stock car winner. Yeah, I mean, I know he had a pretty good car. Man, this has always just had such an interest up here. He can always just work the corner a whole lot better than us. We honestly really had pretty good cars. We would have just started right there beside each other. We had a pretty good race, but those guys really stepped the game up recently. We always ran pretty good here some days, so hopefully they come back a couple more times. We'll come back and hopefully put on some good shows for fans. Well, certainly so. Y'all put on a great show tonight. But a nice job coming here, getting P2 points, and being able to escape that a solid run to at least right home. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing to complain about. All right.
Yeah, it was good. Talking to qualifying, but I think we bounced back really good. I like to thank my sponsors, Starkey Gearing, NBA, and Victory Junction. My crew gave me a good piece. We're on to Hickory tomorrow.
Absolutely. So, Hickory tomorrow, how do you feel about that?
Feeling pretty confident. Got forward there in the first race. Hopefully we'll pick up the win.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's
Restart zone, green flag is in the air. And just like that, we are underway for 35 laps here in the modifieds. Gary Cozy down to the inside, able to get a great drive off at turn number 2. Buddy Allred able to slot in the line directly behind him, single file all the way through your field. They come around to complete lap number 1. Buddy Allred there, great drive off at turn number 2. As he'll hold pace with your race leader here as they work around to complete the 2nd lap. Good battle shaping up up front. Butler falling back into 3rd. As Michael Reimer has fallen back to the 5th position there, that number 25. As he and Doug Patton had a battle there for 4th, and Patton will get the best of that. Causey stretching it out just a little bit off of turn number 2 over Buddy Allred, 15.861 for Gary Causey that last time, first driver into that 15-second bracket. As Buddy Allred will now join him, a 15.924 for the number 88 of Buddy Allred. Allred really tight off at turn number 2, had to get out of the gas to stay out of that outside retaining wall off at turn number 2. Allows Gary Causey to open up a little more of a lead on your race leader. As Causey's still out front. Buddy Allred in that number 88 in second. Randy Butner on his own island there in the 3rd position. 4th to Doug Patton. And Michael Reimer, see what he can try to chase down in that 5th position. To go here from Ace Speedway, the final race of the night here in the modifieds. Gary Causey, Buddy Allred, your top 2. As that last time by, once again, Gary Causey about a 1/10 of a second to the better of Buddy Allred there running in the 2nd position. That battle for 4th starting to shape up off at turn number 4. Here comes Michael Reimer, who's found a little bit of juice in his modified to the better of Doug Patton by about 2/10 of a second that last time. They run nose to tail down the back straightaway. And for a moment, Michael Reimer looking to poke that nose underneath that number 29. And Reimer looking to try to chase him down for 4th.
If we don't get a caution and you get down there to victory lane, right there. On the way out, $5 home pizza while surprise laps. 11 laps complete in this 35 lapper. So far it's been all Gary Causey, but Buddy Allred trying to close in the Jeff Tate prepared number 88 machine. The in loving memory of Monk Tate Automobile riding in the 2nd spot here on lap number 12. Randy Butner back to 3rd, Michael Reimer 4th. Doug Patton rounds out the 5-car field as Causey showing the way with that new Big Coffee sponsorship on the quarter panels as he makes his way down the front straightaway on lap 13. Allred closing in was thinking we were going to see Jason York in that machine. That time and scoring had it put down as Buddy Allred, who rides in 2nd. Randy Butner, the Pomptown Express, former multiple-time modified division champion, 3-time champion of the division, riding in the 3rd spot, but a distant 3rd with 14 of 35 laps complete. Gary Causey showing the way. Not a whole lot going on.
This one's pretty tame.
Yeah. Normally I was expecting about 4 or 5 more, but yeah, they get strung out pretty good. Snow Camp, North Carolina's Gary Causey will put 17 laps on the horn. He will come back to the halfway signal next time around the horn. Look to get a little bit closer to the final checkered flag of the opening night of 2022 here at Ace Speedway. Brandon Willard will throw the cross sticks in the air halfway home this time by. Halfway home, 18 complete, 17 to go for the Modified Division, formerly known here at Ace Speedway as the Grand American Modifieds Division, carried over from the old dirt racing days here at Ace Speedway. Continues on into the year 2022. Down the back straightaway, Causey sees his lead shrink just a little bit. Buddy Allred trying to close in there about 8/10 of a second. Now make it 5/10 of a second, a half a second. Knocked off 3/10 in 1 lap, did Buddy Allred as he tries to close in on Causey on lap number 20. The 88 looming a little bit bigger in the rear view mirror of Gary Causey down the front straightaway.
Another lap time, 3 3/10 of a second better for Buddy Allred. Is now Allred all out of sorts in a turn number 2, and all of that ground that he had gained the last couple of laps thrown out the window, is out of shape, out of whack. That number 88 of Buddy Allred. And Allred, who had gained some ground and started to make Gary Causey worry up there in the 59, loses nearly a second on your race leader. And he'll have to try again to work that way back. Not much time to do it though. 12 laps to go for Buddy Allred to try and chase down your race leader. It has allowed Randy Butner there in car number 71 to make up some ground there for second. Butner that last time, faster than second place for Buddy Allred. So Butner trying to make a play here for second, leading the going here at Ace Speedway. Your race leader came around last time. Flagman showing 10 laps to go to your race leader. It'll be 10 for Doug Patton, who crosses the line. It'll be 9 this time for the 59 of Gary Causey. Around the famous 410 mile they go. Buddy Allred still holding serve, but now it is he who is having to hang on and start to worry about that number 71 of Randy Butner, who's getting a little bit bigger in his rear mirror. Butner to the better side of 2/10 of a second. That last time by over the 88 of Buddy Allred, who has lost a little bit of the drive in that number 88. 3/10 of a second that last time. And second place lost to your third place runner in Randy Butner. So Butner having to try and chase down. That battle for second could be shaping up as Gary Causey again. 29 of 35 on the board. So it'll be 5 laps to go this time around for Gary Causey to hang on as he works off of turn 4. Battle for second starting to shape up though.
Allred not going to be able to just go into the night with second secured. Butner has closed in at the opportune time with just 5 laps to go. The wily veteran closes up as Buddy Allred been a little bit all over the place with the steering wheel with 4 laps to go. One car up high in turn 2. Doug Patton went up high in turn 2. Causey will navigate to his inside. Not quite sure what happened there with Patton. Patton will jump back in line there. Not quite sure what went wrong, but looks like he's got it all sorted out with 3 laps to go. A little scary moment there for the race leader, Gary Causey. Second place still close, still awful close. Randy Butner right to the back bumper of Allred. Back to turn 3. Allred looked like he's trying to just hang on for dear life with 2 laps to go. Less than a mile away from the final checkered flag of the night. Causey has got plenty of lead. The best battle will be for second coming down the stretch.
And when they come around this time, they will take the white flag as Gary Causey. Nothing to worry about here, but again, our eyes will turn to that battle for second as Causey through 1 and 2. No issues, no lap traffic to speak of. But Buddy Allred off in turn number 2. There will be lap traffic that will potentially be a factor in this one. Off for turn number 4, give it to Gary Causey, but the battle for second.
I'd like to thank everybody coming out tonight. Appreciate all the fans coming out. I like to thank Jason and Robert for giving us the facilities and all the guys that work here. And super nice guys. Great place to race. I wish we just could get some car count. I know money's bad right now, so I just wish we could work it out where we could get more cars.
Absolutely, a great facility, a great family, you're running it. And that is your winner tonight, Gary Causey in car number 59. Like you said, that's just a little bit of racing, I suppose.
Yes, Gary Causey, that was a lot of fun right there. We wouldn't make each other for nothing in the world, but we both racers. Thank you for running good. The guy behind me right here, this first time in 2 years I've been back in the car, and I'm so excited. I'd like to thank the York family, Smokey and all them out there. This is not take, memory of him right here, but York family, all them out there, they asked me to drive it. Thanks them a lot. Dave Dunlap, the race, and I'd like to thank them all. These boys helping me. Everybody helped me today. Alan, Michael, little Homer, Ricky, Sweat, the family come out and watch me. Thank you, everybody.
All right, buddy, we'll let you get to it again. Last one of the night we get right here. Brady Bunter, you made him sweat a little bit those last couple of laps.
Sound good last one tonight. Yeah, we were down a little bit, but too much too late. We come back next week, try to get a hand out to the Jericho game back here. Mike, Bill, Rick, Don, all those guys that work on this thing, bring it back week after week. They keep working on it, make it faster. Thank all you fans for braving the cold, coming out tonight. We appreciate you, and we'll be back.
Absolutely, we will echo that sentiment right here. All you race fans who brave the elements out here, we appreciate you all coming out tonight here at the Ace Speedway. I want to thank Tyler Williams up there in the booth for showing me the ropes. I'll be joining you guys all season long here at the Ace Speedway. May 6th, make sure you mark it on your calendar. Friday, May 6th, the Cars Tour, as well as several supporting series will be right here at the famous 410 Smile next time around. So, for myself and everybody here at Ace Speedway, the staff, all the concession stands, the entire Turner family, we want to thank you for coming out to Ace Speedway tonight. I'm Blake McCandless, and we will see you out next time. Please drive home safely, and good night.